Hi, let's keep talking about the financial programming and databases, and we're now talking about the packages. In the first lecture notes, we talked about the very basics of the of the Python program, and we talked about conditional statement. We talked about the for loop, while loop, exception handling, some function how to define a function and the functional programming, but we have never talked about a lot of packages. We talked a little bit about them, but not comprehensive. A comprehensive discussion of the packages. We learned how to write the programs, but every time if we need to write the programs that we want to use, it's going to be very time consuming. In fact, for maybe millions of, I don't really know the real number of the existing functions. For most of the functions, other people have written that for you. Not really for you, but for the open source Python community. So a lot of people have written specific functions for particular use, and they have uploaded them to the open source community for you to download, for you to use. And for a group of functions serving the similar purposes, they package them into a package. Sometimes they're also called module. So if you download the module or the package, then you can use the functions that the packages have, and you don't have to. You can just use them without writing them by yourself. There are a lot of packages, and here in the second lecture, we will first talk about the NumPy, which is I would say the foundation of all the data management, data processing packages in Python. For SciPy, because of the time limit, we don't have enough time to introduce to every function and every package. We can just pick up the most important ones to talk about. So we first talk about NumPy, and I'll give you a link and you can study the SciPy by yourself. Then I will discuss what a data frame is and how to use it for with the functions in the pandas package. Pandas is handle data sets. Okay, it's a package, very powerful package to process data. After talking about the two packages, NumPy and pandas, we will talk a little bit about the creation of class, or the OOP. It's object-oriented programming. Then we talk about some specific packages that the data processing could use pretty often. For example, geolocation. If you are given a set of coordinates, how do you calculate? How do you map it on a map? And if you are given a pair of locations, how do you calculate the distance between them? And we will also talk about the multiprocessing. After that, we will briefly introduce some data types like Pico, JSON. JSON is a dictionary-like data type, and HF like HDF5 data type. We will also talk about the web scraping. Use regular expression or Selenium. We will also use. There were several packages: URL, lib2, Beautiful Soup, and Selenium. So let's start talking about the brief introduction about the external libraries. So what is an external library? A library, a list of libraries can be found at the PyPy website, and this is a website, and you can browse the projects. You can search the Python package index, and to look for specific package of functions that you want to use. And how do you? This is I'm not sure if the video here cover the external libraries. Okay. There are hundreds of packages already installed with Anaconda that you install. Let me be specific. If you just use Python is just the Python, and it doesn't have a lot of functions. You have to write everything with you, and if you want to use some packages, you have to install the package. But with Anaconda is when you install Anaconda is Python plus a bunch of packages already in Anaconda, because when you download Anaconda has already installed a lot of commonly used packages. Okay, they know that you like 90% probability you will use them. So you have installed, for example, PIP install. The PIP is an easy tool, to easily install the other packages. But PIP itself is a package. And if you just back 10 years ago, when I had to first install Python, then I install a PIP, then I use a PIP to install a lot of other things. But now you can just install PIP. You already installed PIP, and you just use PIP install followed by the package name. Then you can easily install the package you want to use. Let me show you. Remember that you don't use it in you don't type the PIP install package in Python. No, you're not doing that. You are actually doing that when you're using Windows. You want to use here your CMD. It's a command. Okay, if you do command here, you probably will have the command, this terminal. And if you have installed Anaconda prompt, you will have to use Anaconda prompt, because it is a terminal that has been installed with the installation of Anaconda. If you're using Mac, for example, this is the one that I have typed. And see, I wanna install the PIP. You can when you open the Anaconda prompt, you can just enter PIP install NetworkX. NetworkX is a package of network analysis that we will probably use in the future. It says requirement already satisfied, blah blah. This is because I have already installed it. You can type PIP install NetworkX, but you see that there is a warning saying that I am using PIP version 18.1. However, the version 20.2.3 is already available. You should consider upgrading by the Python. See, I can do this. Python PIP install upgrade. When you first install something out, you should also upgrade PIP, because I'm not very sure whether your Anaconda has the most updated PIP. Okay, I just pressed the enter, and because I have not. I have not connected to the internet. See, now it's collecting the package information from internet automatically, and it is uninstalling the PIP 18.1 and is installing the most updated PIP. Okay, we just wait, and successfully installed the PIP. Let me try to install the NetworkX. It must show me that the requirement has already been satisfied. Let me see if there is something else I wanna install. Let me. Okay. I can show the list of all the packages that I have already installed. For example, Seaborn, Selenium. Seaborn is for is is alternative of Matplotlib for visualization of to generate the figures, and pandas, panel data sets, NumPy, Numba, and Jupyter. If you haven't, I think they're all down. Fuzzy Woozy. Okay, you can try pip install Fuzzy Woozy if you don't have that installed. It looks like I have installed a lot of things. Let me check if there's something that I haven't. So I have the TensorFlow here. For machine learning, there is one upgrade TensorFlow. Yep, I'm installing the TensorFlow. Okay, and also if you have, some people have installed both Python 2 and Python 3. I only have the Python 3 here. I have uninstalled Python 2. If you simultaneously have Python 2 and Python 3 installed, you want to use pip 3, okay? Do not visit an account to make sure the right version is first in your path. It's command errors from the blah, blah, blah. Oh, can init. Okay, for some reason this package is not installed. What? Maybe I'm trying Tweepy. Do I have Tweepy already? Okay, so see, Tweepy is a package to just with a lot of functions to process the Twitter information. You can download the Twitter automatically from API, and it collects Tweepy, then successfully installed this Tweepy. So you can use pip install to install all the libraries that you don't currently have in your Python. Okay. So remember, if you're using Windows, you search for CMD. You search for an encounter prompt, and if you're using Mac, and you will search for the terminal. Okay, you use a terminal to do this. So these are some commonly used libraries for data science. The first is NumPy. It introduces objects for multi-dimensional arrays and matrices. And they have functions that allow easily perform advanced mathematical and statistical operations. So NumPy is a foundation for all the other data processing libraries. And NumPy can be downloaded from here, but you don't have to do anything about this because Anaconda has already installed the NumPy package. And the nice thing about NumPy is the handling of complicated two-dimensional data sets. Okay? Not just so for example, this is a two-dimensional data set. This is a list, and another list is a list of lists. Okay, we will show you NumPy in the next video. And SciPy. SciPy is a collection of algorithms for linear algebra, differential equations, numerical integration, optimization, statistics, and more. Pandas. So after NumPy, we will skip SciPy, and we will get into Pandas. It adds the data structures and tools designed to work with table-like data. It's more like the data frames in R. So I would say, like with Pandas, I don't see R has a clear advantage compared to Python in terms of data processing, because R was the data frames in R were really powerful, but pandas already now have it in Python. Remember that pandas has nothing to do with panda. Nothing to do with panda. It's called panel data set. You know that the data sets have time series data, the cross-sectional data. If a the time series data is like one stock. Okay, if you have just one stock, and you have the stock's daily data, it has price and volume, trading volume, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is a time series data. If you just have today for 1 day's data, like price and volume, for all the stocks, like 5,000 stocks, it's cross-sectional data. Cross-sectional data is like different individual items, like the observations for just one time period. It's like, you have different stocks generating different data every day. So this is yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. So it generates every different data every day. But if you just cut through the cross-section, you will find that you will have all these stocks data on 1 day. That is cross-sectional data. If you just pick up from this, you pick up one stock and get the time series data, you have the time series data. And the combination of time series and cross-section will give you the panel data set. So you will have different stocks, different days, variables, value. So that is panel data. And panel data sets are used to, pandas are used to handle this data. And it can be downloaded from pandas.pydata.org. But you don't have to do anything about this because Anycon has already installed it. Okay, it's based on NumPy, but adds more sophistication. This is a generation of data frame. Okay, you use the pandas.data frame function, and you do some manipulation of the data. Also, if you want to visualize, generate the figure of the data that you have, you want to use matplotlib. Okay, we will also talk maybe several slides about the commonly used functions about it. And if you want to do some machine learning, you can do the skitlearn. And Seaborn is another library based on matplotlib, and it can produce high-level interface for drawing attractive statistical graphics. Built for Soup, we will also talk about this. This is for web analysis of HTML web page, and we will use it for web scraping. Quippy, this is what we just installed. It automatically downloads tweets for analysis. You also need to have a developer key. You have to register this developer key to access the API to download the data from Twitter company, because the company's data is the company's assets. So it has some restriction for you to download its data. Otherwise, you can download all of the data from this company, and this company will lose their unique assets. And this is, well, I think my video is covering the word. It's called NLTK. Okay, Natural Language Toolkit. NLTK is also, we are not talking about this because in another course called Natural Language Processing, I'm not sure if you still have this course in this semester or in this academic year, but we used to have this course. It teaches you how to process a natural language use. So when you want to process natural language, the textual information, you may find that textual information. You may find that there are a lot of things to think about. For example, when you have an English language literature, you will find that how do you get rid of all the meaningless words or phrases like and or or comma. So all of these are stored in the stop words text stop words file in the NLTK. Then you can get rid of it, and you follow several procedures. You can analyze textual informations. Sentiment, for example, is this text positive or negative toward what, and how many topics it has talked about. This is to use another algorithm called latent Dirichlet allocation (LDA). Anyway, all of them are related with textual information analysis, and fundamental and almost the most important one is NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. I'm not sure if I have this. If I don't have this, I can PIP says 3 NLTK. Okay, I have already installed it, so I don't have to worry about it. Remember, you can use PIP list to check the number, to check the list of all the packages that have been installed in NLTK here. I have installed a lot of packages. Maybe I don't have the Word2Vec. This is another package that has been. No, I don't have it. No, what's going on? Yeah, I probably encounter some problem that I have to figure out later why I cannot install it now. Anyway, if you cannot use PIP to install it, there is another way. In the previous slides, you can download the library from the website and unzip it. You will find there is a setup.py file. To do this, you have to first open the terminal. Then you change. Not sure if you know this, but then you can, for example, this is in the C. The user my name. This is a folder. Okay, it's a C disk. Under C disk user folder, under the user folder, you have the my name folder. If you want to change it to another one, you want to do. Nope. Well, should be using this cd ... and you can go first. You want to go back to the root folder, and if you when you go to the root folder, you can use this D, and you change your current folder to the D disk, and then you want to go to the D disks. I don't know what I have in the D disk. Maybe I have no idea why I cannot use ls here. But under D disk, you can find out the other folders. Files. And here using CD, I have documents. Yes, I press the tab so I can find out. I remember that I have documents. Then I can go to the documents folder, and in the document I probably have yes, I have HKU. No, high school. It's HKU. Yeah, HKU materials, and I think I have HKU teaching. HKU teaching. Now, using this, you can step by step go into the folder that you want. You can you should lead your path. This is called a path. Okay, this path to the setup.py file path, and then you type Python setup.py install. Maybe I can give you an example by searching something, but maybe I'll record another video, okay, to do this. And usually you can just use pip install to install any package that you want, unless you encounter some problem that you don't know how to fix. And we were talking about the natural language toolkit. Now this is Celery. Celery is for my video covers this Celery. Celery is concurrent computing and parallelization. Did I install it in this computer? Okay. No, I didn't install it. And yet another. I think this computer probably has some problem. Otherwise I won't have these errors. If you encounter any errors in installing any packages, you're welcome to contact me. Okay. Maybe I can download it. celeryproject.org. Yeah, celeryproject.org. Celery Python Celery. No, this is how to use a Celery, but yeah, usually it's fine. I install Celery, but this is what I have. Celery, I want to download the projects. I want to download it from here. And okay, it's here. Okay, the installation is it's a capital. Huh? Still something wrong? Yeah. Web source. GitHub is very useful. Is a very useful website to store a lot of. Okay, I think I can get to this. This is a celery master. Okay, this is celery master. I want to go to, for example, it's this is teaching. I want to go to C users. Where's users? And I just put it here. Okay, and I want to unzip it. Unzip it. And this is Siri master, and I have the setup.py. Let me see if I can install it through this way. The cd celery master and cd celery master. So, like what this is saying, I'm using Python setup install. Here is Python setup.py install. Python setup.py install. Yep. You see that it's installing these. Yep. Okay. I finished the processing. Just want to check. Check whether this shows that it's already satisfied. Requirement already satisfied. Yes. What it is going? What is it doing? Oh, installed click. Click must be another function there, or another library that used by this library. Let me check if I can use celery now. Yeah, from celery import celery. If I can import it, that means it's already. It's not. Maybe I should close it down and open it again. But let me try this. Okay, this I'm actually going to Python from celery. Yep. So it's already installed. Why didn't I think I didn't use an account. Let me quit. Use quit. So I just use quit. So I was from here. I was in Python. Okay, I was in Python. Now I'm just in terminal. If you don't enter Python, you're not in Python. For example, here if I do 4 plus 3, it doesn't do anything. If you do Python, then 4 plus 3, it will do 7. This is actually we are using Python to do program. But why do I use a spider here? Because it's you see, like from the unaccount prompt, it's pretty ugly and it's black. Here you can just do a lot of things, and you can see the variables that you defined. You can generate the picture. For example, if for I in range 10, you print, well, print I. See, it's gonna execute Python. So I quit this, and where was I? I was in the auxiliary, right? Yeah, and I select Python, setup install. Well, so right now it's installed in Python, and I can use a Python here, but I here from the terminal, but I don't know how to why it doesn't work here. I guess the reason could be that I have to shut it down and reopen it to save time. Now I'm not keep testing it. I'll just go to the. So this is Siri. Okay, from this project I showed you where to download the setup.py file and how to use a terminal to install it, and you can load the Python libraries from the like this. If you want to, for example, if you want to use the functions in the libraries, you don't just type the functions, because in different libraries there could be the same function. Because, for example, one function is called from NumPy, one function is called pi. And if you just tap pi, it doesn't show you anything, because you have not called the library. So you want to import NumPy first. Then you do pi. I'm sorry, pi. Yeah, not py, but bi. But pi is still not defined. You have to use pi, and it will show that this function is just calling the value of pi for you to calculate. And sometimes people say, hey, I don't want to type the NumPy such a long name. Can I use the short name to stand for it? Yes, you can do it. You can do this by importing NumPy as something. You can do it np, then you can do np.py. You can also import NumPy as, for example, my name. It's fine, but it is. You should not do this, because we have some custom. This is a custom to import a particular library and give it a particular short name. For example, NumPy, we always import NumPy as NP and SciPy as SP. And for pandas, we always import pandas as PD, and matplotlib as MPL, Seaborn as SNS. This is just a tradition that everyone uses, because when you write the code, you're hoping that other people can also read your codes and can develop something from your codes. If you just, for example, import this as whatever words, and other people will not easily understand what you're writing. So we still import this. Another way is to from NumPy import. So from this library, I import a function. Then in the future, you don't have to write. The packet library name dot function name. You don't have to do this. So we are always doing library name dot function name. Okay. If your code is short, you can do this, but I still don't suggest you to do this, because different packages probably will have the same function name, and you will get the Python confused. there is another. So for NumPy, you can import this function, and when you're using another function, you from NumPy you import another function. You can also from NumPy. For example, you have Py installed from NumPy, but what about E? So E is not defined. So you can do from NumPy imports everything. Okay, from everything. We actually talked about it a little bit when we were testing another code in the previous videos, but I've not done this to show you. So you have imported every function from the NumPy library. Now you can type E, and E is 2.7. Okay, it's a base for the natural logarithm. Okay, you can also start the Jupyter notebook. It is a shared computing cluster. It is not like, so for example, if I want to show you the spider, my coding on spider, how do you see me? I have to share I'm recording the video or broadcasting my coding, right? If I want to put that on a web page, and you can click the web page and see me coding simultaneously, what do you do? If you want to do that, then the Jupyter Notebook may be useful. For example, we can Jupyter Notebook. With the Jupyter Notebook, because I've already installed it, it's gonna pop up and give you a. Here it's a local host. Maybe in the future, I will record another video to show you how to share the link with your classmates or your friends. Here you can just open a new console, Python 3. Now, hey, this is Python, so you can just just type there. Okay, I'm having an error. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, kernel restart fail. Maybe I should update my Jupyter a little bit. Probably I should also close this, or just close this. Oh, Jupyter. Already satisfied. I'll figure out the bug in the future. But anyway, you just open the Anaconda prompt. Then you type Jupyter Notebook. It should be installed with your Anaconda for whatever version that you install. Then you can get this, and you click the new. You can get to the coding. Okay. Now this video is a brief introduction of what an external library is, and how to install the libraries, and how to import the libraries and the functions of the libraries for it to use. So in the next video, we will talk about how to use NumPy. Okay, we will introduce NumPy.